Hello guys, this is Matthew from SBS Core Trading. Today I'm going to talk about the three currencies that we have on display, and I'm going to talk about how are we going to trade these currencies next week. So before I start to explain how are we going to trade these currencies, I have to emphasize that this tutorial is for educational purposes only, and any loss of funds, if you take it as signals, I will not be responsible for any loss of money. So you have to take it as the training video, or maybe I should say educational purposes only. So let's start with the United States dollar versus Japanese yen. Okay, this is what we have on USDJPY on daily time frame. I'm going to explain how I'm expecting this pair to move in the following week. So to avoid confusion with these trend lines, I'm going to explain how I draw these trend lines and what is the name that I'm going to give on this pattern that I have on this display. Okay, first of all, we have this line which is going this direction, and this line which is going this direction, and these two lines are giving me something like a narrow wedge. In general, this trend is going upwards and it's in a wedge. So as you can see, the wedge is going narrow. As you can see, this trend line is going this side and this one is going this direction, and as you can see, they are going to meet somewhere around this area. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the reason why I have to put these two lines, you need to understand why I have to connect these points to come up with these lines. So as you can see, this line has been respected here. It has been acting as a support line at this point, and this point again a support line, and with this point it's now a resistance because it was broken somewhere here, and we have also this point as the resistance area, and with this other line that is our support line in this case, which is this trend which is going upwards, and this line has been respected at this point, following this point, and there is something here which I'm going to explain on this tutorial. So we have also another line which is coming, it's coming from this direction. This line has been respected from this point, which is it was respected at this point and respected again here. We have it here, and it's respected again here. So I'm going to explain these lines, and before I forget, we have also the third line, which could be our main trend line, which is this line, the general trend of this price. We have these tops at this point. Let me indicate these tops at this point, and we have this point, and the last point which you are expecting will be maybe this area. Maybe price will come to something like, maybe I have to indicate it here, this area. Okay, so I'm just explaining the reason why I draw these trend lines, and now I'm going to explain what I'm expecting this price to move in the following week. Okay, since I said this is a wedge, it's a narrow wedge, I'm expecting, as you can see, the price has broken our support line, which is this line, and it's broken here at this point. So what happens when the price breaks the support line? As you can see, the first candlestick, let me zoom in the first candlestick, the bearish candlestick, which is this one, is the candlestick which broke the trend line, following the bullish candlestick, which is this one. So this, in my case, I consider it a retest, which means after a breakout we expect a retest before we go to the new direction. So if this is a retest, it means we are expecting the price to drop from this point down to I will put some other lines to indicate important areas where we are expecting the price to reach. So in this case, I'm not saying you are going to sell this pair because it has broken this trend line. You have to wait for another candlestick to close, or else you need to use a sell stop order. Maybe you need to put it somewhere around below the previous candlestick. So it means if the price is retesting at this point, when it comes, it will come from this point, go down, and maybe we're not sure where it goes, but maybe let's say it will reach this area. I'm going to explain what I'm expecting. So before I explain the target area, let me put some important resistance and support lines. Our first line will be at this point. This is our first resistant line. The reason why I'm putting this line at this point is because if you check correctly, this line has been respected on several points. As you can see, we have highs here and here. Then our last candlestick closed just below this line, which could be a retest of that line. And here we have several highs here and here. So this means this line is important on our chart. So we need this line, and I'm going to add another line. I'm going to add this line at this point. The reason why I'm adding it at this point is because we also have several highs and several lows at this point. The first one being this point, and we have highs at this point. And I'm going to add another horizontal line. So this is our third horizontal line, which acts as support and resistance line. As you can see, we have several lows at this point, highs at this point. It was broken here and a retest was done, and it was broken here. We have also several lows around this area, and if you check, you can see it has been respected again on several points. So what are we going to expect next week on this narrow wedge? I'm expecting this price to fall from this point. If this is a retest, I'm going to expect a fall from this point and back to the first horizontal line, which is this one. And if this horizontal line is broken following a retest, maybe something like this, the price would fall again, and when it falls, I'm expecting it to respect this trend line. If it breaks this trend line again, we have the next horizontal line, which is this one. If it breaks this horizontal line following a retest, we're expecting this point. So on each and every step, like I said, when the price moves from this point to the next horizontal line, if it fails to break this horizontal line, it means the price is likely to bounce back to this horizontal line, which is at 108.899, and if it breaks this horizontal line, then it might mean that the price will go back to our main channel, which is this important horizontal line. So you need to put in mind that I'm not saying the price will fall from this point. As you can see, we have this big trend line which the price might need to respect. So the price may need to go back to test again this trend line. It's possible that the price will, from this point, will go to test this trend line, but the fact that it has broken our wedge, I'm expecting it to move from that point down to around this area in the following week. So this is what I'm expecting on this tutorial on next week. Let's move on to the next. We're going to look at Euro US dollar as our next pair.